Hello everyone, my name is Patrick, and welcome back to my channel Relationship Addiction Stories. Today we have a story where this woman having an affair with multiple men while her boyfriend mourning his mother's death. Now she is sad because her boyfriend made her leave the house. Let's see what actually happens in this story. My GF, now ex keeps crying because of something she did, and I don't know what to do. So I have had a pretty weird summer. Since it started, not gonna explain too much, but long story short, my mom had passed away from heart failure around the last week of May, so I was already in a sad and heartbroken mood because my mom and my sister is the only family I have left. Since my grandma, aunts, uncles, and cousins live in another country, we don't have any contact with them, nor do they contact us. Ever since my mom died, I was just let down, because I knew my sister was also sick from cancer since it runs in the family. I had my GF for support, and she really tried to cheer me up, but nothing really worked. A few days pass. I decide to take my GF on dates, movies, trips, and getaways so I can get my mind off my mother's death. It worked half the time, but later on, I would remember that she's not here anymore. Lately, I've been noticing that my GF has been distancing herself a lot, which I appreciated then. But now, I just felt more lonely, because after I got over my mother's death, I've been trying to spend more time with her. But then I realized that she had been spending time with a guy best friend and girlfriend, as friends, as she says. So I think to myself, oh, they are just friends going out and catching up, which is fine by me. I trust my GF completely to the point I know she wouldn't do anything to hurt or betray me. It never really bothered me until I started realizing that she didn't want to go out as much. She kept telling me that she wants to stay home and be there for me, which I appreciated, but I kept telling her that I was fine. But again, she told me that one day she wants me to meet her guy and girl best friends, which I agreed. She never gave me reason for me to be insecure or jealous, because when I met them, they acted like a trio of best friends, especially since the guy already has a GF. So fast forward to July, I get devastating news that my sister had passed away from cancer. At that point, I just felt like I was punched repeatedly in my stomach, and my world just shattered because I had lost the closest people to me that have been there for me since I was little. I have no doubt that one day I will get sick too, but I didn't worry about that now. So the only thing that is going through my mind is just to go home and be with my GF and tell her the news, because all the stress from work and my sister's death was getting to me now. When I arrive home, my GF's guy best friend is sitting at our porch waiting. When I approached him, he gave me a look of sadness and sorrow. I asked why he's there, and he tells me that my GF went drinking with her best friend, and that her best friend told him that my drunken GF had left with some man. At that point, I just felt sick, alone, and most of all betrayed, because the last person that I loved had betrayed me and did something irresponsible. I just told the guy thanks for telling me, and I walk in my apartment, and I just start crying in my room. My GF never came back that same day. I did get a text from her, but I didn't answer. I didn't even tell her about my sister's death, because I was just emotionally drained and hurt, so I just kept a straight face. She noticed the faces I have been making, but I only gave her short answers, and she would just look at me then shrug. When funeral approaches, I still hadn't told her about her death yet. I noticed my GF wasn't even in the apartment, so I just thought she went to work, and etc. So I wear my funeral suit. It's short and sad and heartbreaking. Not a lot of people were there. I wasn't expecting a lot of people there since we're not close with other family, and I just go home. I didn't even have the urge to take off my suit, so I just loosen my tie and sit on the couch and cry. Hours pass by. I hear my GF walk in and hear sniffing and a runny nose. I didn't even look at her. She just tells me, hey, and I would say, hey back. She basically stands there muttering something. When I look at her, she looked like she was crying. She just tells that she had something to confess. So I just tell her, I know what you did, and she gives me a face of regret and starts crying. She kept apologizing and saying sorry and all this stuff which ignored, so I just sat there listening. When she noticed what I was wearing, She asks me why I was wearing the suit, and I didn't answer. I just narrowed my eyes on the apology answer. When she reads it, she gasps and looks at me with a crying face. I just looked straight ahead with tears on my face. She just sat next to me and cried on my shoulder. I didn't feel her touch maybe because I was tired or just emotionally drained. But now I just never felt so alone. Now my GF is just begging and crying for me to forgive her, and I really don't know if I can. He shouldn't forgive his girlfriend for what she did. She's a terrible human being. I suggest therapy and distancing himself from her. I hope he will get all the strength in the world to be strong. Maybe if you weren't facing a double grief process, you might have emotional space left to deal with this. But you are already overbooked and need to process what is already on your plate. Tell her it can take 2 to 5 years after losing your mother to be able to function again. And losing your sister is just too much. Ask for time for you to grieve your family and reconfigure from that double loss. That's not her fault, but this is extraordinary. And nobody is designed to function after losing 2 people that close together. It's like a double amputation, and you won't be able to walk and adjust for at least a year while you recover. Assure her this will give her time to address her drinking and casual intimacy mistakes she made by not thinking straight either. She needs this time to sort out why she let bad judgment take over instead of knowing better. Use this time to work on herself while you work on your recovery from huge traumas as well. You can support each other as friends, but be fair and kind to yourselves and give yourself this extra time to deal with your own huge issues and not stress each other out. You are like 2 patients facing heart and brain surgery, so you need to recover separately, not share the same room and bother each other. You both need a full team of support to get you through your own problems first. After you can walk and talk like normal again, then you can think about your relations and what you want or feel. But not when you both have major work to do on yourselves alone. That comes first. Update before I start. I know it's been 2 months since my last post, and to be honest, I didn't think about updating or giving a follow-up because I didn't want to think about the situation. I'm posting this because I had a lot DMs telling me to update, so yeah. Now the update, so you know in most situations when you and your GF/BF are going through arguments or are going through a rough point in their relationship, they will seek emotional support from a guy best friend, and usually they would sleep with them because they felt it was the heat of the moment, and you know all the nonsense they say to explain their reasonings on why they did it. Surprisingly, in this case, her guy best friend is the one who told me about my GF cheating on me. No, she didn't cheat on me with her guy best friend. He's the one who actually tried to get my GF to stop from going any further from cheating on me with some guy she met at a bar. But you know how all drunk stories goes. They get drunk, then you know that stuff happens, then blah blah. When I had found out she cheated on me, I was just angry, sad, and depressed. But most of all, I felt betrayed because I thought maybe I had one more person that still loved me that was still alive. But I guess that wasn't the case. I'll admit, I sorta neglected her for the most part of the summer because I was still trying to process my mother's and sister's passing, and I feel responsible for not giving my GF that attention she deserved. So I just kindly asked her to grab her stuff and find another place to stay because I was done with her. Of course, she begged me to give her another chance, but I was emotional drained. That couldn't I handle any more emotional stress, so I just declined and tell her to leave. I have been hanging out with her girl and guy best friend, and they told me that my ex has changed a lot. They told me that she feels guilty and stupid because of the decisions she made, and she feels regret. They told me that she went on a date and that it went well, but she said that it didn't feel right because it wasn't me. She says that she still loves me and that she would do anything to get my forgiveness. They told me that she just works and goes home now, and all she does is just sit around and watch TV. Her friends tried to get her to go out, hang out, and meet some guys, but she refuses and states that she still misses me and that she doesn't feel anything with the guys she goes out with. Now her friends are asking me to meet with her and see if we can work out something. They told me that my forgiveness would be fine and that she just wants me to forgive her so she wouldn't have to feel guilty anymore. He should start making new friends so he can cut all ties connected to her. It's not about her needing forgiveness. He needed support, and she didn't offer it. Instead, she sought something else for herself. There's nothing to discuss with her. She made her choice, and she just needs to live with it. I am so sorry for your loss. You can choose to forgive her, but for you, I would continue not to speak to her. However, cheating itself is awful, but under the circumstances, and when was repugnant. If you talk to her, it will just stress you out more. I cannot imagine how you feel given everything, but I can understand wanting to forgive someone and bring them back into your life because you really need someone to get you through everything. Don't do it. I have forgiven things and tried to allow people back in when I shouldn't have, because at the time my life was so chaotic that I felt I need stability. She will never be satisfied with a friendship. She will become a problem time and time again, because someone who can do this to you now isn't a very good person. In my most unhappiest relationship, I stayed an extra 6 months until everything was stable for my ex because his mother had a heart attack and they later found cancer. I had love and respect for him despite wanting to no longer be with him. We had grown apart emotionally, but I just knew he didn't deserve to be betrayed and abandoned during this time. And I have zero regrets because it's what I signed up for when I committed to him. When someone shows you who they are, believe them. All of these things that have happened to you are awful, but I have faith you will move past it and be happy again. This person is an obstacle into that healing journey. Forgive her in your mind if you would like, but you don't owe her thing. The forgiveness is for you. She deserves nothing from you, and you know what. Let her be sad. In what universe does she get to do what she did to you and be sad because she realized that you were special? She is going on dates. She ain't that sad. Sifting through people while she is forced to remember what she threw away is a good lesson on how not to be a bad person in the future. I wish you healing and all good things during this time. May you attract people that will be supportive and awesome just like you. Wish you the best.